Wolves 2, Walk It Football, Aston Villa 0. This is our match reaction. And Villa fans, if you know, subscribe, help me out. Comment your thoughts on that performance. First things first, I want to say fair play to Wolves. I thought, first off, I thought they absolutely did a job on us. I thought they were well worthy of the victory at halftime. It could have been 4 or 5, and I don't think any Villa fan would have gone in at halftime and thought that scoreline shouldn't have been anything other than what it was. Clean through on goal with Guedes and Cunha, and yeah, I thought they were very good and continue to play like that for the rest of the season, and they will stay up. But we're not here to talk about Wolves. We're here to talk about Villa, and I am absolutely fuming with what I've watched. Again, that feeling of just wanting the whistle to go. You know, with 20 minutes to go, thinking I've seen enough. We were never getting back in it. That sinking feeling of just utter nothing, absolutely nothing. And there's a lot to go through here. And my overriding thoughts off the back of that is Emery got that massively wrong in that first half. He got it so wrong, but it was so obvious that tactical changes in game needed to happen. And I just couldn't believe that we just was so easy to play through. And I think, you've got to, like I said at the start, you've got to give Wolves some credit, because I thought their press and I thought the way they set up structurally to stop us from played a big part in it. But while that was the case, there was such an easy solution. And the solution was what we saw in the second half. It's why he made those changes. I made my notes and I drew a picture. I drew a picture of the easy solution. The easy solution was Wolves had got a holding player, 4 players in a press. The space was out wide. Out wide was the space and the out ball for Aston Villa. But we continued to try and play through Wolves. It was pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. First half, honestly, walk it football. You may as well call it walk it football, because it was just walking around, ambling around. Every single pass was behind a player. It wasn't in front of a Villa player. Absolutely pathetic. And it's a running theme. Here we've got what Wolves did really well with Cunha, Bellegarde, Sarabia, and Guedes. That four pressed Villa. They pressed Villa in the middle of the park, out ball, out wide, into these spaces, into these little channels through here. This is where the out ball was. They were congested within the middle, stopping McGinn, Tielemans getting the ball. I couldn't believe what I was watching. And again, we went through a similar sort of system where Bogard was dropping into this area. Garcia was going forward. We've got Rodgers on the right, who was then going off and supporting Watkins. McGinn then was dropping into the double pivot. Absolutely miles off it. Absolutely miles off it. First shot on target has gone in the back of the net again. Martinez beat at his near post. Goalkeepers shouldn't really be beat at the near post, but it's a great run from Bellegarde. He's absolutely smacked it, and he's really sort of got no chance. And Martinez in the first half, especially, if you can say he should have saved it, he made up for it with saves off Cunha and Guedes again, but just miles off it. And I cannot understand now how the running theme after Champions League games, how it's not being addressed. I've no idea how we are approaching games with this slow, ponderous mentality in the first half. because second half, he makes 4 changes at half time, injects more life into the team, more intensity. And what happens? Villa start getting on the ball. Villa start dominating possession. Villa look a lot more lively. So that tells me that we got the first half absolutely massively wrong. We weren't loads better second half, but at least we created chances. At least we was having shots on target. You know, I always feel like if there's ever a stat and ever a reason why a team is starting slowly, you look at Aston Villa's record after Champions League games. Why? Why is there a stat that says that we are really bad after Champions League games? It's energy, it's intensity. It's blatantly obvious that those are the things that we severely lack after a Champions League game, yet we rock up and roll out the same team that virtually ended the game. Why are we not learning from this? Why are we not approaching games with that added intensity, that added desire? Why are we so flat, lifeless, poor passes? Why are we ambling around the pitch just thinking, yeah, we're Champions League Villa, we can just turn up and knock it about in our style? You still have to show a bit. I'm absolutely livid with us because it's a running theme. It's frustrating and it's so annoying. Like, it's starting to piss me off. Again, we were having Wolves players having 1-2s, running off Villa players. Villa then running off and getting the wrong side of players, not running and tracking and getting goal side, looking round thinking, oh, I'm out of position here. I best get back in position. That first half was absolutely ridiculous. It was absolutely crap. And again, another running theme. We've brought on a brand new player. We've started him and took him off at half time. What are we doing there? We started doing it with Costa. We started doing it with Bogard in games, Champions League games. We'd start Bogard at right back. He'd have a little bit of a mare. We'd take him off. How is Garcia meant to have any confidence coming off that pitch, being dragged off at half time? And I don't even think he wasn't even our worst player. A couple of times he got to the byline. He wasn't even that bad. And he gets took off at half time. When are we going to see him again? You know, when are we going to have confidence to play him again now in a Premier League game? That's frustrating. So it's just not good enough. It's really not good enough. The running theme there now of those performances after a Champions League game, you can clearly see as well. First half, second half, first half, BT, scrappy, Wolves pressing, energy. Second half, Villa dominant with the ball, created half chances. You can see that from the momentum bar. We go to the first half stats. We'd got 62% possession. Wolves had an XG of 1.41. They had 4 big chances. We had 0. Second half, we had 1 big chance, 0.44 XG. First half, we made 240 passes. They made 144. Second half, we made 301 passes. We had 7 shots in the second half. All game, we had 10 shots. They had 8. We had 3 on target. They had 5 on target. So, not good enough. Not good enough. Second half, slightly better, more intensity. Bailey brought a bit of something. Marlon did the same. Onana, slightly more control. Tielemans, as the game went on, was just on his feet. Like, just got no legs in him. The goal that we scored, It's one of those, I'm gonna be brutally honest here, that it's very minimal in the sense of he's not really blocked him, but he's touched him, he's gone near him, he's close to him. There looks a bit of a, it's very minimal, but the rules are he's offside, he's gone up to the player. The player could go to the ball, but because Rodgers is behind him, he's having to probably adjust his body, and Rodgers is in the way a bit. So by the letter of the law, I imagine it shouldn't have stood. Maybe I'm being harsh there, but it's eh, we didn't deserve to draw the game. We didn't deserve to win the game. We deserved to lose the game. So I'm just really frustrated that we've rocked up there again and stunk the place out. Every single season we rock up at that stadium, we stink it out, and we've done the same again. It's 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 embarrassing. You can't, as a fan, you can't legislate for that performance. I'm sorry. We see two good games from Ramsey, disappears. Rodgers, anonymous in the first half, second half better, getting on it, popping it round. Watkins, non-existent. I mean, for that first goal that we conceded, Garcia plays a good ball up to him, bounces off him, and ends up in the back of the net. Bellegarde runs off Kamara. Hold the ball up. Bounces off him, they score. All over the show for a team that wants to have control. For a team that want to build their style upon control. That's non-existent. You got no control in that first half. Second balls, not one. Challenges, not one. Nowhere near them. Wolves wanted it more. How many times, right? How many times does this happen now? Where there's a little square pass that's loose, that's in behind. Wolves player pounced on a Villa player. They're driving forward at our team, and we're all scrambling backwards to try and get. How many times is that happening a game? That's happened like 4 or 5 times in that game. In that game alone. I'm frustrated because it's a running theme that's happening in games, and it's a big problem. And I don't know how I mean, that conceding off that first shot again, that is woefully embarrassing. It's got to be up around 16, 17 times now. First shot goes in every single game on target. I don't know what to say really, because I mean, if anyone that's watching this has got any ounce of positivity to shed and share a light on that performance, then please do, because I'm really struggling here to find anything. Here's Villa's passing network into Yuri Tielemans. We can see that there's no network between Ramsey and Rodgers, no network between Rodgers and Watkins. And you can see now what's happening. So you can see that Wolves were shutting out the middle of the pitch against Villa. So I'll show you the heat maps of players and average positions. You can see that they're shutting out the middle of the pitch and allowing it to go out wide. And what we do, and it happened in this game where we recycle the ball, we turn it over quickly, we're moving forward, we go out wide, and what do? Instead of playing a first time pass into Rodgers or Watkins, and I'm talking about Luka Dean, it goes back. It goes back. We get set. They're in their shape. They're structured. And then we try and start moving it around in tight areas, tight little triangles. And it gets cut out because everybody's back. How many times? How many times did we get into a half decent area with Luka Dean on the left and he passes it backwards? If he's meant to be our width on the left hand side, why is he not driving with the ball forward? I just don't get it. I'm just baffled by it really. So here we've got Villa's average positions. So we've got Kamara, we've got Konsa, we've got Luka Dean, and then we've got Bogard. We've got Garcia when he was playing. I mean, look, Garcia's heat map there. His biggest heat map is near by the byline, which is where we want the attacking right back to be. Now, if he's come off injured, then fair enough. But I imagine that he came off tactical. McGinn, even McGinn was loose, wasn't he? Just very frustrating. And here we can see what Wolves were doing. And this is what I showed you they did in the first half. You've got that front four here that really shut out the central areas of the pitch. But look here, whereby number 2 is out wide. There's so much space all game out wide. This is the average position over the course of a whole game. So you can see the space on that left-hand side, that there was that much space to be able to attack. And you can see the pocket in between sort of number 7 and number 3, that space through there for a Villa player to get on the ball in those areas. I'm going to be really interested to see what you guys have got to say, and after this to hear what Emery's got to say, because he's looking a picture pacing, frustrated, but mate, this is your team. Like, you're sending them out like it. So maybe I've been really harsh here. Maybe my reaction's harsh, but I'm just being totally honest with what I've watched there. We've absolutely stunk the place out again. And it's a positive result followed by an absolute stinker, followed by Watkins going off injured. With I don't know, not good enough. And then you've got Newcastle lose, Brighton lose, Bournemouth lose, chance to climb the table in points a little bit. But no, we've just, been really poor. So I'm going to leave it at that because I'm really annoyed. So there we go. If anyone can cheer me up in the comments, cheer me up. But yeah, cheers, up the Villa.